Family is supposed to be a built-in support system, but for many, it isn't reality. Research suggests as many as half of adults are estranged from a close family member, whether it's a parent, a child, a sibling, or another relative. An estrangement that doesn't always come from one dramatic blow-up. Vivian Meraki is a parent-child relationship expert, author of Parenting Through Divorce. Good morning, Vivian.
Hi, good morning.
I know no family is without drama. But when I talk to somebody and say, "How's your sister?" Well, I don't speak to her anymore. Or people estranged from their parents or their children. Why does this happen so often?
I would say that the way to explain it is actually if we think of our relationship as a wooden bridge, and the ruptures are things like the damage or the hurts that are experienced, and these ruptures are actually the wear and tear and that damage of the planks over time. Estrangement happens when the damaged planks never get repaired, and over time there's no bridge left, so the connection can't happen. So a lot of times, estrangement is something that happens over a long time because there's often avoidance. It's hard to talk about, or the repair doesn't actually happen, and things just continue to stay in disrepair until there is no hope left for one of the individuals, and they decide to make that difficult decision.
Is it just avoidance, or is there some stubbornness also that it's involved?
There can be. Absolutely. Absolutely. We definitely see that as well. Or actually, sometimes it's not even that, but it's actually that the individuals don't know how to repair because it's actually not something that is generally taught to anybody.
Okay, so what's more important then for the sake of this conversation, to tell us how to repair it or to tell us how to stop it in the first place?
I think in a way, it's a little bit of both. So talking about how to repair it, but also talking about what are some of the signs to look for in the first place. And I think that to explain the first one, I would say that oftentimes estrangement happens because there is a real lack of emotional safety. So we're so often told that love is enough, love is all you need. And unfortunately, that is not the case. There's another missing ingredient that is needed in order for love to land and be received on the other end the way that you intend it. And that thing is emotional safety. But emotional safety is not something that we're very familiar with as a concept, and it's not something that we know how to create, often for ourselves and therefore not for our children and the people around us. But it is key. And so that is one aspect that I talk a lot about and work a lot with the clients that I work with in getting back to that emotional safety. So that's the first piece. And of course, we can talk about repair as well.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit and talk about emotional safety, because I'm sure that means a different, something different to everybody. I mean, for instance, I could walk into a family gathering and somebody I haven't seen in a long time could say, "Boy, so that's what you look like. Almost forgot, haven't seen you in so long." And it would just wash off my back like nothing. You say that to another person and they take offense. And then it starts the whole bad vibe. So what is emotional safety?
I explain emotional safety as the feeling that you can be accepted for who you are, as you are. And that's the heart of it. And so the reason, in the experience that you're sharing, why it can be received so differently by different people is it's all contextual based on that person's experiences, interactions. Maybe there's a history there with that person. It's not just that one moment, that one statement.
Right.
It's actually more. This is where it becomes a bit of a two-part piece, where there's emotional safety the other person offers, but it's also the emotional safety that we create for ourselves, taking into account a lot of the experiences that we have. So we will all encounter those activations and stressful moments where things happen, someone says something, and we notice ourselves getting stressed and there's an activation and we start feeling offended, maybe, in a case like this. But there's also a recognition in terms of where that's coming from. So is this coming from that person in terms of their intention and what they're saying to me? Or is this something that I'm carrying that is leading to a bigger reaction than normal? And this is why it becomes more complicated and why I say it's two parts, because there's accountability and ownership on my side in terms of owning what it is that I'm carrying. But it's also on the other side from the other person's perspective. Well, taking care with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's so complex because you say, if I want to be accepted the way I am, then I have to accept them the way they are. And sometimes the way they are is to say, boy, that's what you look like. Haven't seen you in a long time. And I can accept when somebody says that, well, that's just the way they are. But some people don't accept that. And then this stubbornness, this misunderstanding, this pigheadedness starts. And then they never see eye to eye.
And at the heart of reconciliation, I look at it as 3 ingredients for reconciliation. That number 1, there needs to be a desire for connection. Mm-hmm. So if there's not even a desire for connection, then, we can't proceed. But at the same time, deep down, we all want connection. We're actually hardwired for connection. And I don't know that there's a child in this world or a parent who doesn't deep down want that connection to be seen, loved, accepted, so like at the heart of it. But is it possible? And that's the second one. Are we able to openly have the conversation to, 1, take accountability for the parts that we each own, and 2, be open enough to try to understand from the other person's perspective. Okay. Is that a possibility? And then the last one is really looking at, are we willing to change? We can stay firmly anchored into, well, this is just who I am. And that's fine, except that perhaps the way you are is causing harm to another person. Maybe it's hurting the other person. Maybe it's actually landing in a way that's leaving them feeling less than, not seen, not heard, not understood. So how do you adjust so that you start meeting them where they are, if you want to? And if you don't, well, that's really where the estrangement starts to happen, is that the other person ends up making the decisions for self-preservation then.
Yep. Sometimes it's easier just to turn away. It's very interesting. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Vivian Meraki is parent-child relationship expert, author of Parenting Through Divorce.